Hey team, this is George. Appreciate the effort you've been putting into class so far. We are in week 3. Doesn't seem like it's possible, and it's fantastic that we're there. So uh, here we go. We're talking about shaping and chaining this week. I love this quote right here by B.F. Skinner. A failure is not always a mistake. It may simply be the best one can do under the circumstance. The real mistake is to stop trying. Um, the part that I like is may simply be the best one can do under the circumstances. So as we think about things and we see ourself failing or someone we care about or someone that is in our employ failing, let's look at the circumstances as to why. That is a big deal because we can have a huge influence on people's success and our own success when we kind of, I like to say, detach from the failure and look at the failure from a perspective of why it happened and what was the cause. Was there some sort of circumstance that drove this failure? At work, I see this so many times when I worked with Lockheed Martin. There might be a tool or something that's incorrect. We needed the right tools. Well, guess what? A tool for a mechanic, same thing for a leader. What is a leader setting up for his or her employees to be successful? It may not be tools, but it can be circumstances, like what type of environment are we creating, things like that. And that goes with our family as well. Because one thing that I've found is we create our circumstances a lot. And what I mean by that is we've all heard that saying, uh, predetermined or self fulfilling prophecy. So, in other words, we set up our circumstances to fail or to succeed. We made a self-fulfilling prophecy. If we tell ourselves enough that we can do it, we can. If we tell ourselves enough we can't, then guess what? We're not going to. It kind of works that way. So we want to specifically change this by shaping behaviors. And this week, you're going to be continuing your just marking down the behavior that you're going to be changing, and then start thinking about week 4 where we're going to try the some more data tracking where you're going to do part 2, which is you're going to install basically the behavior change. So start thinking of what sort of modification that you're going to make. And this is going to be a fun class, a fun project to do because we never know what we come up with. It's kind of interesting when we look at the circumstances. So uh, feel free on these. I know you're making your tick marks as far as when things happen, as far as your behavior, but feel free to take some notes too to kind of help yourself out to see if there's a theme that continually happens, because sometimes it does. Nobody's perfect. We all do it. We all have a theme for um, using that habit. So sometimes it's readily apparent, sometimes it's not, but it's always fun to kind of discover more about ourselves. And sometimes it's just who we are and we don't really want to change it. So we don't need to change it. So that's kind of interesting things, but we're having some fun with this. So let's continue with your fantastic, I almost said motivation because I was reading right here, but continue with your fantastic effort in the discussions and in your personal behavior modification. So start thinking about what that modification is going to be and have a fantastic week.